One, and good evening. I call this February 2023, 2020, February 23rd, 2021, virtual administrative meeting of the Bernalillo County Commissioners to order. And tonight we will have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Barboa. When you're ready.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Barboa. And now, Madam County Manager, are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We have one, so that's item 3A under technical services, the tiny home village change order approval to be added to the agenda as item 8G as in girl on the consent agenda. And a vote is required for the change.
Okay, and I also would like to make a change and remove item 9D from consent and have it be heard under 5A board and committee appointments. So let's see, I will move to approve those changes. Do I have a second? Commissioner Casada seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. And Madam Clerk, please do the roll call vote.
Yes, ma'am. Just for clarification, what was your move, Madam Chair?
Yes, moving 9D from the consent agenda under 5A board and committee appointments.
Okay. Thank you. All righty. Commissioner Barboa.
Aye.
Commissioner Benson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley. Vice Chair Casada.
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Thank you. So call, ma'am.
Thank you. That passes unanimously. So on to proclamations. County Manager, Bernalillo County Emergency Management, presentation and acknowledgement by County Manager Julie Morgus-Baca to Richard Clark to accept the recognition.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Good evening. So today, the National Weather Service presented Bernalillo County and their official storm ready sign with their official storm ready sign. So today, this morning, I was very fortunate to join the staff as they received their award. So this sign and others are designed to be displayed throughout the county, telling the citizens and visitors within Bernalillo County that we are ready to provide real-time and accurate weather information to better alert them in the event of dangerous conditions that may result in loss of life. So Bernalillo County is now one of 6 counties in New Mexico to receive this designation. Over the past year, the Bernalillo County Department of Emergency Management worked with the National Weather Service to complete the application and series of on-site reviews. So again, I have during this pandemic, it actually taught me a lot about what Richard and his staff do. I spend a lot of time at the atrium as well as coming over to One Civic. And I've witnessed the amazing work that they do. And, I want to just say above all, that camaraderie in that office, the positivity, and they're just going, just nonstop, always communicating. Chief Pettis is such a great leader to this department, and I just want to commend them for the excellent job that they are doing, and wanted to bring this recognition to your attention. So thank you very much, Madam Chair. Richard, do you want to say something?
Richard Clark, would you like to say something? Unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, thank you for recognizing us and our department. And again, this recognition, Storm Ready, is for the county as a whole. And like the county manager said, we're 1 in 6 counties who've actually been recognized by the National Weather Service as Storm Ready. And so we're very honored and happy to have that. It's nice to be able to come in here and talk about other things besides COVID-19. So we're just glad that we're able to be able to have this. And really what's important about this is to know that we have a partnership with the National Weather Service, so that we are the alert point for the county. So when something comes in, such as a flash flood warning or a winter storm warning or high wind warning, those come into to our department and through the 911 dispatch center, so they can pump out the information to the officers in the field, the firefighters at the stations, so they can be prepared when they go out on calls, when they go out into the community, and be better prepared and safe while they're out there. In addition to that, this allows us to provide weather warnings, forecasts, and be able to alert the public when something's coming, so that they can protect themselves, be better prepared, be better able to to protect themselves and save lives. And that we, in the news recently, and it's kind of amazing that this came about, but in the news recently, everyone looked at Texas and all the things that happened there with the loss of power and the people without water and water lines breaking and electricity being out. And so therefore, having this ability, being storm ready in the county, will allow us to be better prepared, allow us to prepare the citizens better, so that we can then get stuff in place and get procedures in place, so that we can hopefully not become another Texas. And when they had this major disaster down there. And so again, I want to thank the commission and the county manager and Chief Pettis for all their support and everything that they do for us to become storm ready for the county. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Richard Clark. Any other comments or any questions for Richard Clark? Seeing none, Richard, thank you so much. And I am always so proud of the work that you and the team do. And especially, yes, because we saw what happened in other parts of the United States with those winter storms in the past week. So thank you so much for all the work you do to keep us on top of things before bad things happen, and helping us be prepared for anything. In addition to your work on COVID. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so moving on, board and committee appointments. I had asked for this to be removed from the consent agenda. This is the Detention Facility Management Oversight Board appointment of Karen Allereid. And this is sponsored by Commissioner O'Malley. And I just want to talk a little bit about this because I really struggled with this appointment. Karen Allereid is the Executive Director of Facilities Design and Construction at APS. And as many of you probably know, if you saw the editorial in today's Albuquerque Journal, APS is looking to build a bus depot in a residential neighborhood in my district in the East Mountains. And that would include a 50 bus depot, a bus wash, mechanic shop, fuel station, training center, and parking for 80 employees. And so, I really need to be sensitive to my constituents. They are all opposed to this, as it would be a disaster for the environment. It would be built right on their water aquifer. Any kind of toxic runoff from a bus depot in that beautiful little residential neighborhood would just be horrible. It's, it would be just irreversible damage to that beautiful little community. And so, I actually reached out to Ms. Allereid yesterday, and I talked with her, and I said, I'm really quite in a tough spot with this, because I need to, the only way that I know you is from this bus depot project. And she said, go ahead, do whatever you need to do. And so I don't take any pleasure in you talking about this publicly, but she said it was okay that I do. I don't mean to embarrass her in any way, but APS, and unfortunately under her leadership, has not been a good steward of the land. It has not been transparent in its communications. It has not, as I understand, not even followed its own protocol by not meeting with my community. And as I'm sure you're aware from the newspaper articles, the community has retained an attorney. So Ms. Ellery will most likely, I'm guessing, be named as a defendant in a lawsuit. So I cannot support the appointment of Ms. Ellery to serve on the Detention Facilities Management Oversight Board because just from what I know of her, of this example, she at this point would not be a good steward of that, and because of her lack of communication and just being a good steward of taxpayer dollars in this case, I can't support her appointment. So that's why I asked for this to be pulled off of the consent agenda. So that's where I stand on that. Are there any questions or comments, or should I just go to the vote?
Madam Chair, just real quick, I
Yeah.
just made correction on the removal on the script. I stated it was 9D. It's actually 8D. So it is on the record as being removed from 8D to 5A.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the appointment of Karen Ellery representing District 1 to the Detention Facility Management Oversight Board?
Madam Chair, I move approval.
Okay, is there a second? I do not hear a second. So that fails. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then we will move on to public comment and communications. Before we hear public comment, we will proceed with communications item 6A, Community Services, Bernalillo County Extension Services, with a presentation by Diane Christensen and John Garlish. So there you are, take it away.
It's good to see everybody. Will I be, should I share my screen or will my PowerPoint be brought up from your
You can
end?
go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, great. Just give me a moment to cue this up then. Good. Is everybody able to see the PowerPoint on your screen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. My name is Diane Christensen, and I'm the Family and Consumer Science Agent for Bernalillo Cooperative Extension Service. And Madam Chair and fellow commissioners, it's a pleasure to be with you tonight. Thank you so much for your time. I was in my annual review recently with the Northern Director for Extension, Patrick Torres, and he asked me, how did I feel about the last year? It's certainly been unique and presented a number of challenges to all of us. And I laughed and I said, well, I feel like I caught the ball and kept running. So that is what I feel like we have done well at the county extension. So just wanted to share some highlights with you. Like millions of Americans, I learned to new technology, new resilience, and new ways of doing work. And so Zoom became our new classroom. It has been a tremendous gift, actually, because our reach in programming has gone throughout Bernalillo County to people that are isolated and that type of thing, but also statewide. So this is an example of a collaboration that I did with two specialists from New Mexico State and then also another fellow agent. So we pivoted very quickly and strategically, particularly in family and consumer science. We had existing programs going at the time. The National Diabetes Prevention Program is a year-long program, and I had 2 cohorts going, one in the East Mountains and one in Albuquerque. Within 2 weeks, we had pivoted completely to Zoom. We kept 100% retention of the East Mountain cohort and 65% of the Albuquerque cohort. We were the only ones in the NMSU, excuse me, NDPP program that were able to convert to Zoom. And we had really strong retention. We just finished that program in January of 2021 and have started another cohort. So we're off and running. Kitchen Creations, as some of you may know, is a cooking school for people with diabetes, pre-diabetes, and those who cook for them. It's a hands-on cooking school that has also been converted to Zoom very successfully and has been very well attended. And again, reaching some people that maybe would not have been able to attend previously via Zoom. Diabetes self-management program has also been converted to Zoom, as well as a series that I do called Eating Well with Diabetes. And that is also a cooking school, but we have converted virtually and do the cooking via video for our students. We also met new needs. In April, the team that I just showed you via Zoom, we got together and created a 4-part webinar series, COVID-19, Stress and Resilience, and we addressed the stress and managing that people were feeling. That was presented in May. It was a 4-week series. Slim and Strong is something that I've developed. A lot of people were struggling with the COVID-15 from being home, and so we really wanted to promote wellness. So this is a 6-week program that I did in June and July. We also saw the need of our elderly population. Many of them have comorbidities that made them at higher risk for COVID, and they were feeling very isolated. So I led a team statewide, and we presented 12 Keys to Embracing Aging, and that was the 6-week program also. In the fall, we did Walk with Ease. Again, people isolated, not getting out, not getting the usual activity. Walk with Ease is from the Arthritis Foundation, and that was a 6-week program also. Today, I just am in my 2nd week of coping with COVID burnout. We're a year into this, and people have new needs, and so we met those needs with additional programming, and that's going very well. We've had 279 people be part of that, so it's been a very good, very well responded. We've had some very strong community partnerships. Roadrunner Food Bank continues to be a very strong partnership for us. We did a video cooking series. Normally we do on-site cooking for them in their Healthy Food Center. We were able to convert that all to video, and that was very successful. I also serve on their Health Advisory Council. The New Mexico Diabetes Advisory Council, I've been the board chair for that for the last 2 years. And this organization is charged with the professional development of people who treat and manage diabetes in the state of New Mexico. We were able to pivot to Zoom meetings also. So again, that has been very helpful to our organization to reach the state for providers of diabetes prevention and management. I also partnered with the Bernalillo County Community Health Council, and that was a great collaboration. They had a grant for the Walk with Ease program, and so they provided all the materials for my programming through that. And also with the Presbyterian Community Health Resources Center, we collaborated with that agency, and we presented Kitchen Creations together. So that was a great collaboration. This has been a particularly good year for awards and service. This is a picture of Cindy Davies, the former director, and I spearheaded submission of an award for our TV presence here in Bernalillo County. It did win nationally, so that was exciting. I also won the Past President's Award State and placed in the Western region. ACES is our college in New Mexico State, and we were awarded a team award for National Diabetes Prevention Program. Our work with that has been strong. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, I was awarded the Chili Pepper Award, which goes to a professional that supports registered dietitians. So that was a real honor for me to be awarded that. And lastly, we, as you may or may not know, a lot of students that require internships had a really difficult time this year because they were not able to do their internships. So we had 3 registered dietetics interns with us. 2 of them came to us very last minute, but we were delighted to have them. And they did a fantastic job, and we worked hard, and they're a great source of free labor for us. So we're always really happy when we have the students. So thank you so much. COVID just opened up a number of wonderful opportunities for us. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now, or if you'd like to contact me in the future, this is my contact information. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the work you do and the flexibility that you've shown. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. Okay, seeing none. Thank you. And so let us move on then to, I guess, public comment. So let's see, you will have 90 seconds to share your comments. You will then be notified when your time is up. And from what I understand, the bell is back. You will then be muted and moved to the waiting room. Should any of the commissioners have follow-up questions to your comments, you will have opportunity to answer. Julianne, how many do we have signed up to speak?
We have 4 signed up to speak to provide live public comment.
Excellent. Please proceed with your comments.
So the first is Ms. Talia Friedman.
Hi, everyone. I am a resident of the Rincon Loop area that Charlene was speaking about in the Tijeras area. That's where APS is planning to build a bus depot. This land was specifically sold to them for the exclusive use of an elementary school. While we do agree as a community that APS has a right to build new facilities, they should not be detrimental to the community. Noise, light, and air pollution make a bus depot inappropriate for any for any residential neighborhood. But our neighborhood in particular, the site would be on top of our aquifer, and our specific terrain is really prone to trapping pollution. The depot will directly harm students and local residents. There was initially no outreach to the community from APS, and clearly no impact assessment has been done. It was not until the residents began to publicly fight against that APS finally started to consider other solutions. Thanks in great part to Commissioner Charlene Piscotti, APS is now in communication with the community about our concerns and with the county about alternatives. We hope to see this spirit of collaboration continue, and with your help, we can find a solution that benefits the area without doing harm for natural resources and communities. To this end, we ask the Commission to support our opposition and aid us in encouraging the APS board to revoke their decision and relocate the bus depot to a commercial area that does not damage the quality of life and health for some students over others.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Sandra Wiley. Sandra Wiley, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Unmute.
Hi, my name is Sandra Wiley, and I am also a resident of the Rincon Loop area. My home has been in my family for about 30 years. And as one of the first homes that was built in the Tijeras Land Estates community, we've been aware all along that APS was planning a project in that land, but our understanding and everything that was outlined in the contracts and covenants, et cetera, was that it would be an elementary school. In fact, about 13 years ago, I purchased a large piece of property to the north of the APS land, and I wouldn't have made that purchase if I had known it was going to be an installation for a bus depot. My neighbor Talia has expressed our concerns about the environmental impacts on this project, but I'd like to weigh in on the lack of input and outreach from APS. I understand that APS is operates under slightly different rules than other entities may operate. And the laws may not require that they do community outreach or any sort of environmental studies. But we trust APS to manage the education of our students, and we should be able to trust them to communicate with our community. And so I just want to say that Commissioner Piscotti has been so amazing and attentive and responsive about this project as soon as it came to our attention. And I'd like to thank her and encourage everybody to support her in those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Philip Roberts. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and turn on the video if you'd like.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Your time.
Very good. Okay, good evening. I also live in the immediate proximity to the proposed bus facility, APS bus facility in the Terrace neighborhood. Also, I live within the village of Terrace. I am retired. Previous to my retirement, I worked at UNM as a project manager, where I would put together jobs for customers that were that we were either renovating or use. As a project manager, I always involved the user groups. APS not only did not involve our community, which also includes the actual village of Harris government, but they actually, in my opinion, went out of their way to hide this project from us. We only came to learn about it in January, where it had been in development process for several months before that. I find that particularly troubling, and I encourage the county commission to do whatever they can to have APS reconsider. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And last, we have Rudolph Serrano. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and your video if you'd like. Mr. Serrano, if you can hear us, you can unmute yourself. Okay, Madam Chair, I don't know if you want to give it a little bit more time, or we can move on.
Okay. Oh, I see him.
There he is.
Yes. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Serrano. Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Serrano, so we can hear you?
Mr. Serrano, if you move your mouse, you'll see a little microphone and you push it.
Oh, I think you got it. Go ahead, Mr. Serrano. You have 90 seconds.
Okay, obviously he's experiencing audio issues.
I can't hear what he's saying. I'm sorry, Mr. Serrano, we can't hear you. Would you like to submit your comments in writing for us to read? I think we're going to have to move on. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. That concludes public comment.
Okay. And please do submit your comments in writing so we can read them. Okay. We can't hear you. I think we have to move on. Well, that was unfortunate. I think it just makes us all look forward to in-person meetings again. So moving on to approval of minutes. I move to approve the February 9, 2021 administrative meeting minutes. Do I have a second? A second to approve the meeting minutes? Thank you. I saw Commissioner Barboa first. All in favor say aye. Aye. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye. So
Thank you.
that passes unanimously. We have approved the minutes. Thank you. Approval of consent agenda. Madam Clerk, you're up again. Please provide resolution numbers for items 8A, 8B, and 8E.
All righty, 8A, 1 is AR 2021-23. 8B, number 1, is AR 2021-24. And E1 is FR 2021-25.
Thank you very much. I move to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second? Everybody wants to second that one. I saw Commissioner Benson's hand go up first. So Commissioner Benson seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa, Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Thank you.
And, before we moved on, I don't know if this would be a good time or if it would be a discussion item for another time, but I actually would like an update on the tiny home village. I know that the change order was moved to the consent agenda, which is fine, but Commissioner O'Malley, did you want to say a little something about this? And okay, I would like an update at some point at what occupancy. I know people have moved in there, so I think it would be good to have that at some point. So thank you. Moving on, adoption of ordinance. Madam
Commissioner
Clerk.
Piscotti, Madam Chair.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted, again, I have an appointment to the County Planning Commission, and that was on the consent agenda. I just wanted to recognize Angelica Solares, who is my appointment to the county planning. She has over 12 years of experience in programmatic planning, development, management, and fiscal oversight. She is currently employed at UNM Comprehensive Cancer Center. She is a healthcare champion with a planning background. And a little story about, there's a park not far from my home here in Southeast, and she fought to get a playground there with the city council. So she I'm excited to have her represent. She lives near me as well. So I think I'm excited to have District 3 represented by such a strong advocate. She's bilingual. She's a powerhouse, and I'm excited to have her and thank her for committing her time and service to that planning board.
Thank you, Commissioner Barboa, because I think a lot of us know Angelica Solares because she has been involved in so many things in the community. And I guess my claim to fame is that she and I worked across cubicle walls at the University of New Mexico at the Health Sciences Center. And so I knew her when I first moved out here, and I worked in that department. So when I saw her as your appointee, I was like, yay, go Angelica. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of us know her, and we're happy to support that appointment. Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, back to you. This is the issuance and sale of Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series 2021A. And I need ordinance numbers for items 9A, 9B, and 9C.
Yes, ma'am. 9A is ordinance number 2021-4. 9B is ordinance 2021-5. And C is ordinance number 2021-6.
Okay, thank you. And Shirley Reagan, will you be presenting on just all of these all at once?
Madam Chair, Piscotti, I can do
The A and B. Yeah, thank you.
Julianne, were there any public comment?
No, there was no public comments for A or B.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Shirley Reagan, Deputy County Manager for Finance. This is a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series 2021A, in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $13,765,000 for the purpose of refunding all or a portion of Bernalillo County's General Obligation Bond Series 2012A. I stand for questions.
Any questions? Okay, seeing none. So I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2021-4, authorizing the issuance and sale of Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Refunding Bonds Series 2021A in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $13,765,000 for the purpose of refunding all or a portion to the county's general obligation bond series 2021A. So I made a motion. Is there a second? Commissioner Casada second. All in favor say aye or wait.
Aye.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. And so now we're moving on to the next one, right, Shirley?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. Okay. And Julianne, is anybody signed up for public hearing for this one?
No, nobody has signed up.
Okay, thank you.
This is a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Bonds, Series 2021, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $27,355,000. I stand for questions.
Any questions? Okay, seeing none, I will make a motion to adopt ordinance 2021-5 of what Shirley Reagan just said. Do I have a second? Thank you, Commissioner Barboa, for that second. All in favor, say aye or wave your hands. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Piscotti, Vice Chair Casada, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
That passes unanimously. And
Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if I may take point of privilege here. This is regarding the appointment, my request to appoint Karen Allered. And I've asked Mr. Martinez to research this. This is the first time I think, as long as I've been on the commission, that someone who asked for an appointment for their district, not at large, but for their district, that it was not actually seconded or didn't pass. It's my understanding that when we want to make an appointment for our district, we have the right to do that. That's what it says in the section that Ken Martinez pulled up for appointments. So I've asked him to look into that because first of all, I thought that was unfair. She's not here to certainly speak on her own behalf. And then also, Rick Miera, another member, is the one actually who suggested that she join. So I'm looking into that because I don't think that that's right. That I should be able to appoint who I want for my district. And as I said, it's not an at-large appointment. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. So we'll look forward to hearing what Mr. Martinez comes up with on that. So on to 9C, technical services. Oh, the adoption of the wastewater ordinance amendments, and Glenn de Guzman to present. There you are.
Hello.
Julian, is there anybody signed up for public hearing on this item?
No, nobody has signed up for this item.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. de Guzman, please present.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Glenn de Guzman, Permitting Manager for Natural Resource Services. Natural Resource Services is bringing back the wastewater amendments for approval. The initial draft was published in October 2020. The proposed changes are summarized in the agenda item summary, and the only comments received were from the Albuquerque-Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority. Bernalillo County Natural Resource Services, Public Works, and Water Authority have worked to resolve the concerns brought up by the Water Authority regarding the definition of available sewer and wastewater systems in a floodplain, as presented in the as presented by the Water Authority comment letter on December 2nd. The resolution of those comments were presented and discussed during the February 12th Water Protection Advisory Board meeting. Available sewer. The exceptions have been removed from the definition and have been restructured to require a formal variance process, as proposed this evening. Residential connection to sewer would remain at 200 feet. Any new construction of commercial, industrial, or manufacturing facilities that would produce commercial strength wastewater would have to connect if within 500 feet of sewer. We have also added a requirement that wastewater systems producing more than 5,000 gallons a day for properties zoned for industrial and manufacturing will be required to connect within a quarter mile of available sewer. Furthermore, a cost threshold exemption has been structured into the formal variance process. The variance process allows for exemption to connection if the out-of-pocket expense for the property owner will exceed $25,000 for existing residential and $50,000 for existing commercial properties, or 2 times the amount of an appropriate replacement septic system. If the cost for connecting existing structures to sewer will exceed the greater of the cost thresholds, then the owner may qualify for a variance. The variance request will require the requesting owner to provide the following: a sewer availability statement from the Water Authority, reasonable bids and pricing from qualified contractors and engineers for any work specified in the availability statement and for the required septic replacement. A declaration of any financial assistance being offered by any entity having jurisdiction for the project to credit against the total cost of the project. Floodplains. The ordinance has been more explicitly worded to prohibit the installation of systems into active channels and drainages, and if placed in a floodway, would require professional engineering design and certification of installation. If located outside the floodway, but within a floodplain, certain elements will still require an engineering design. In any event, installation within a floodplain will require variance approved and signed by the county engineer or designee, and the floodplain administrator or county drainage engineer. And our Natural Resource Service and Public Works is requesting approval for the proposed wastewater amendments. Dan McGregor and I will stand for questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, seeing no questions, I'm happy to move for approval on this because I know how hard you all have worked. I know I've been in conversations with Elias and Dan McGregor, and I know that you have worked really hard with the Water Authority to come up with a wastewater ordinance that works for everybody. So I will move to approve. Let's see. The ordinance 2021-6, adopting amendments to the wastewater ordinance. Do I have a second? Commissioner Casada, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call that roll.
Commissioner Barbone,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. That passes unanimously. And now moving on to adoption of resolution. Madam Clerk, please issue resolution numbers for items 10, 10A, B, and C.
All righty. 10A is AR 2021-26. 10B is AR 2021-27. And C2 is FR 2021-28.
Okay, thank you. And so 10A, cost benefit analysis of staff remote work model for certain county employees, sponsored by Vice Chair Casada. Would you like to speak a little about this item, please?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. This is just to get information as we move forward. I'm aware recently that our great county manager has already been looking at this, but I just thought it would be a great idea to put the whole thing in a study so we can look at it and understand it as we move forward. This by no means changes, our game plan for our new building. But what it does is it kind of looks at how we move forward and how I think the new normal may be. I think the future is very unsure for everybody as we move forward. We're very hopeful that, the vaccine is going to take us to another level. But as you hear from a lot of the experts, it's going to be 2022 before they feel that, we're going to kind of be out of the woods, and that's going to put us another year. And so I just wanted to look at, as we slowly start moving forward, who would be moving forward? What are the costs to that? What are the cost savings? Is this something we're going to look at in the future to even save more money for taxpayers and maybe, look at, and I'm just throwing this out there. This is not in stone, but are we going to use some of these floors, lease them out? Maybe we don't need the whole building. Maybe we can use that. And I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what it is. So that's why I'm asking for the study. That's probably about the plainest way I could make that statement, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any questions or comments about that? County Manager Julie?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioner Casada. And I know you got my message a little earlier, and thank you for acknowledging that. So I just want you all to rest assured, and I'm going to talk about our great staff, our deputies, our directors. So a few months ago, we started to look into this, And even before COVID, we wanted to explore the possibility of flex schedules and maybe increasing those a little bit, because there's a lot of employees that have children or older parents that they need to take care of and just other things, right? So then when COVID happened, sometimes we're actually looking at it as something, we're trying to find something positive. So it's made us be creative. And to your point, Commissioner Quesada, it is going to be a new way of doing business. We certainly acknowledge that. And so maybe we incorporate remote working with flex schedules. And so, and as you know, the Alvarado Square is a state-of-the-art building. We built it so that, our public can have access to it, and access to services under one roof. And that's why we did it. But I totally understand where you're going with this. And if you would allow us some time to give you a report, maybe in the next couple of months, we can let you know what we find out. And I also want you to know that we did a survey. We conducted a survey to the employees, and we asked them how they felt about coming back to work and what their concerns were. And we heard them, and it was their safety. So you're right on target. You're absolutely right. So if you would allow us to report back to you, we can certainly do that. And I'm thinking we probably maybe need a couple of months to do that. So maybe in April, we can come back and let you know what our findings are.
So thank you, County Manager, Madam Chair. That's basically what I just wanted. What this resolution kind of does. If you're doing the work already, then who better to do this resolution, to do this study, than you and the staff themselves, because you've already been doing the data. So with that kind of being said, I think we could just pass this, and then you do the study yourself. So it'd be an in-house study. I don't know if I have to change the wording on this. Mr. Martinez, is there amendment I have to make on the wording, or can we just approve it as is, and then we just have our county manager and staff do the analysis?
I think it's fine as is, because it is directing the county manager and the staff to do the analysis. And I think, honestly, as the county manager's indicated, they've already started that analysis. I think we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, so I'll just move for approval.
Yeah, I'm happy to second that. And Julie, I know that you have been on top of these issues all along. So yeah, I think that this is probably a good time to kind of look at these employee issues around remote work. So Commissioner Barbeau, do you have a question?
Just a comment. Thank you, Madam Chair, County Manager, and Commissioner Quesada for bringing this. I think it's important while we know COVID has been hard for folks, like what are the benefits or lessons learned as we get to a new space? I think we've seen that both carbon footprint in our environment has benefited a little bit from people not being so abundant and in spaces. I also do think I think I have not for the first time in many years gotten the winter flu, knock on wood, but I for whatever reasons I haven't got a cold this at this time of year, where usually my whole family comes down a couple of times. So I do think that there's just some lessons to be learned. I'm glad you're already doing this, and thank you for bringing this, Commissioner Quesada.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Oh, Commissioner Benson.
Thank you. Madam County Manager, I just want to also clarify what I'd like to include in the cost benefit analysis. And I think it's a great idea, Commissioner Quesada. But I'd also like to look at all of the benefits. So, especially in terms of, quality of work being done for our constituents. So I don't know how to do that. But there's one thing to look at, like the dollars saved by folks working from home. And I'm sure that's going to be, you'll be able to find some big dollars there. But I also want to make sure that in that analysis, you're also looking at, functionality and then there's the intangibles, and I don't know exactly how to say this, but, APS is really in the front page right now. And they're talking about, the pros and cons of kids doing online school. I'm sure they're saving a ton of money, but the effectiveness of the education is that's now in question. So yeah, I'd like to make sure that that's try to include that in your analysis.
Will do, Commissioner Benson.
Okay. If there are no other comments or questions, there's been a motion and a second. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley, Commissioner O'Malley.
I don't see her. She may have left the meeting.
Okie dokie. Vice Chair Quesada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Thank you.
So that passes unanimously for the four of us who are here. So moving on, Commissioner Quesada, don't mute yourself. You're up next for the social service gap analysis study update. Do you want to speak to this item, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners. I saw that the city is looking at doing this, and since we've kind of partnered up, through the ABCGC plus APS, that we should just go ahead and just move forward and do the same thing. Talking with Margarita Chavez, this is something she was going to do anyway. Just sort of gives it the green light through the commission, and it kind of mirrors what the city's doing, because I think people need to understand the reason why I'm doing it. It's not because I'm thinking that there's huger gaps in services in my district. I just want to identify exactly where the gaps are, because if you look at a lot of the statistics when we're looking at behavioral health, drug addiction, suicide, that's happening throughout the city of Albuquerque. That's just not specifically to our district. So I just want to make sure that we are providing those types of services where they're needed. So again, this is sort of the old looking for the holes in the safety net of our behavioral health initiative and finding a way to plug those holes no matter where they're at. So I just wanted to publicly just say that this wasn't sort of a, hey, target my area, but really look at it as a whole. And I know that Margarita wanted to do that. So with that being said, I move for approval.
Okay.
Okay.
I see County Manager Julie, you unmuted yourself. I think that you probably want to say a little something about this.
I do, Madam Chair, but I believe that Commissioner Barboa wanted to speak, so I'll let her speak first.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Barboa.
Well, I was going to second the motion, but my comment also, I do have, of course, a comment. I think it's so important that we look at, I hope that I would love to work with Margarita or County Manager Baca and what that kind of service analysis looks like. Because sometimes I actually think, Commissioner Quesada, that my family's from the South Valley, and that I think that it is important. And I think because we have traditional families that live in that community, and that drug addiction and support for those families doesn't look the same as other parts of the city, where I know people stay in their grandma's shed or behind their, and it it looks different. And I don't know that we're actually have a real way to measure what those gaps are, because they're not as visible as they are maybe in my district in the Southeast, right? Which I think has a mix of some of that as well. So I definitely think we need a gaps analysis. And I also want it to be not just about outputs like numbers, I would hope, but more that we're thinking about what are those sort of hidden ways or places that aren't as visible when we think about the social safety net. So fully support this, and I would love to, if possible, to be a part of what that looks like.
Great, thank you. County Manager Julie.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. So yes, again, Commissioner Quesada, you are spot on. And so we have entered into an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Albuquerque to do just that. And so right now we're looking at our behavioral health department, to your point, and then also the newly created Department of Community Safety. And we're looking at kind of a gaps analysis to see, like you said, where the gaps are, what are we missing? And of course, we want to avoid the duplication of services. So I think that your resolution is great timing. And it's not only just that, but then other services that the city and the county provide as well. So your point is well taken, and we will be reporting back to you, and appreciate the resolution. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions before we vote? Seeing none, I agree. Thank you for bringing this forward, Commissioner Quesada. I support this. So we have a motion by Commissioner Quesada, second by Commissioner Barboa. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And thank you. Madam Clerk, please call that roll.
Commissioner Barboa? Commissioner Benson?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley? Vice Chair Quesada?
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti?
Aye. And so that passes unanimously among all present. So we are on to Fleet and Facilities Management Intergovernmental Agreement for Video Surveillance and Information Systems Network. Lisa Manuel, please present and introduce the new District Court CEO who wishes to address the board.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name is Lisa Manuel. I'm the Interim Director of Fleet and Facilities Management, and the item before you is an intergovernmental agreement regarding the installation of a new surveillance and security system at the Bernalillo County Courthouse. The existing system is outdated and no longer meets the needs of the courts. The Administrative Office of the Courts has appropriated $582,544 to Bernalillo County to procure the system upgrades and to provide technical guidance to the courts on this project. So staff is requesting that the board approve the intergovernmental agreement between the county, the Second Judicial District Court, and the Administrative Office of the Courts, and to authorize the county manager to execute any subsequent amendments to the agreement. I would at this time like to make a floor amendment to motion number 2. The amount in motion number 2 that's on the agenda item summary is not correct, and it needs to be changed from 7.6 million to $582,544.00. Julianne, do you need me to read that second amendment, or is that good enough?
That should be sufficient.
Okay. And before I stand for questions, I would like to introduce the new Second Judicial District Court CEO, Katina Watson. Ms. Watson would like to say a few words to you this evening.
Thank you, Lisa, Madam Chair, and members of the commission. I'm glad to be here to introduce myself to you all. And on behalf of the second, I'd like to thank you for your support and collaboration on this project. We're excited about these security upgrades. It's going to provide, much needed technology advantages, such as 360-degree angles, high definition. It's just, it's a real boost to our system. And if you have any questions, Elizabeth Garcia, our general counsel, is on as well, and we're here to stand for any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Is there a motion to approve? And Julianne, this is a motion to approve all 3 items under C, correct?
Yes, you can do them all
Okay.
with one.
I'll move for approval.
Okay. Do I have a second? Commissioner Benson seconds. So all in favor say aye. Aye, or wave your hand. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please do the roll call.
Mr. Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
I've been notified Commissioner O'Malley has left.
Okay, thank you. So that passes unanimously among those present. So on to approvals, Parks, Rec, and Open Space. Bernalillo County and City of Albuquerque Mesa del Sol Championship Facility Intergovernmental Agreements. And John Barney and Debbie Jo will present.
Good evening.
Oh, there you are. Hi, Debbie Jo. I didn't see you.
I'm on top here.
There you. Hi.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I'm going to defer this topic to John Barney. He's been working with the city in the IGA, so I'll let him proceed with this. John Barney.
John Barney, are you there? Unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
There you are.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. My name is John Barney. I'm the Planning Manager for Bernalillo County Parks, Recreation, and Open Space, and I'm glad to be visible and audible at this point. I'm really happy to be and excited to be presenting this agenda item, which is the intergovernmental agreements between the City of Albuquerque and the county for the Mesa del Sol Championship Facility. The motion before you is to authorize the county manager to execute 2 intergovernmental agreements with the City of Albuquerque. The first one being for design and construction of a pro practice / championship facility at Mesa del Sol, and the second is for management of that facility at Mesa del Sol. And finally, that the action requests that you authorize the county manager to execute any subsequent amendments to either of those 2 IGAs should they be necessary. Just by way of background, I wanted to share something here briefly. Let's see, there we go. Is that visible for everybody?
No. Oh, here it comes.
So this is a part of a broader effort by the county and by Parks, Recreation, and Open Space staff to actually create a real regional facility at Mesa del Sol, which was part of what was originally envisioned when the agreement, the ground lease agreement, was put in place with the State Land Office now 25 years ago. Deputy County Manager Lisa Cedillo White is actually working on a renewal of that lease and renewal and extension for potentially up to 40 years. You will be hearing from us hopefully in the coming months about that. But the idea here is really to make a facility, a tournament level facility that will serve not only our county and put the county on the map for these kinds of facilities in the Southwest, but also really create a more accessible opportunity or place where our kids in the Southeast and Southwest can have access to tournament level sports, in particular soccer and football, but of course lacrosse will be part of this. We also have a cricket club that is actually going to be using some of the facilities here. So anyway, we're very excited about that. There's The IGAs are actually just dealing with one piece of this, which is the pro practice facility. The other effort that's going on right now is we're in the process of designing 10 new fields, which are in this area right here, and also looking at the parking issues up there, which now with the addition of the championship / pro practice facility, will obviously get, be more significant. And we have, of course, the amphitheater, which is over here. And so ensuring that we have sufficient parking for all our users and for all the users of our users, as it were. So anyway, the particular items, so this evening really pertain to this facility right here up here in the corner here. Can everybody see that? The county has recently invested $1.4 million in a field that's up there, plus a number of infrastructure projects, water, sewer, and also power, electricity. And we're also going to be putting money into a non-potable water source pipeline, which will be serving these fields and eventually this field as well. That's still to come, but that's in process with the Albuquerque Water Utility Authority. So the IGAs pertain to this. Basically, we've invested in the field, in the infrastructure. The city is providing $3.5 million for the practice facility piece, the building piece or buildings piece, as it were. And they will be, so basically there's 2 IGAs, as I indicated up front. One of those really deals with how this piece over here, which is really going to be serving, some of the users, providing locker rooms, providing concessions, providing meeting space, training space, but also providing some other amenities for spectators. Bathrooms being a big thing. Obviously, we're in a tournament complex, we're going to have a big need for bathrooms. So those are the pieces of the sort of the basic building program, if you will. There are a couple different alternatives that are being looked at, whether it's one building or a series of modular buildings. Those discussions have been started and a master planning effort is underway. But the city is going to be essentially leading the effort, and the city funding will be for those built pieces. And the county, like I said, has already put up a large sum of money to try to make the field happen, and also which is complete at this point, and also to complete the infrastructure that's needed. We also have an additional $1 million for other smaller projects that may be needed in addition to those that I just described. So the IGAs are one, to basically design and construct that facility, and then the second one for how we're going to be operating and maintaining it. And at the core of both agreements are a 5-person committee that will consist of 2 city staff, 2 county staff, and 1 person that will be named by the county manager and the CAO for the city that will be coming from the community. So there will be 1 committee, like I said, for design and construction, and then there'll be a second committee that will really deal with the ongoing operations. And anyway, we're very excited. It's a wonderful collaboration with the city and also with a number of user groups who are represented on the Youth Sports Commission. And of course, this will be the practice home of New Mexico United. Maybe I should have started with that, but we like to think about all our other users and our kids as being what we're doing, but it's really amazing to have them as part of our team to make this happen too. So with that, I stand for questions.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? County Manager Julie.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I just wanted to thank Commissioner Quesada for helping us out with this. And but I also want to thank our state land commissioner, because as you know, where the county is leasing the land from the state, and they've been amazing to work with. And then also the city for taking us up on our offer. We asked them, it's been a while, but we asked them if they would take their $3.5 million and build their facility at Mesa del Sol. And so it all worked out, through lots of collaboration. And so I think that they're going to be really good partners. And then, I see Commissioner Quesada. but it was all worth it. And also our Youth Sports Commission. So when it all boils down to, this is for our youth too. So it's really exciting to have United Soccer. We're really, really happy to be partnering with them as well. But what it all boils down to is we want to take care of our community and we want to take care of our youth. So the community is real excited about United Soccer and of course, serving our youth. So thank you very much, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Thanks. And Commissioner Casada, I see you had your hand up first.
That's okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm super excited. It's really been a really good 4 years for me to be able to do projects that we have to, team up with the city. Historically, it's been very hard. So I just want to give Debbie, Joe, and John, and Julie, you guys rock. I know it's not ever easy to do. Lisa Manuel, also when I was doing the visitor center, I mean, I have two major projects that actually are connected to the city, and Route 66 is connected to the state. It's not an easy accomplishment, believe it or not. And so I just want to publicly thank you all for your work. The county is amazing. We are going to provide a state-of-the-art Class A soccer fields for Bernalillo County as a whole. And we're really, have teamed up with our one true big professional sports team, New Mexico United. And they now really feel welcomed and feel like, the love is being reciprocated, because of their love for us. And we're showing them our love for them. And, and all I can see is a really bright future for New Mexico soccer, from youth all the way to professional. So with that being said, for the third time tonight, I move for approval.
Okay. And Commissioner Benson, did you want to make a comment or a question?
I have a question. Yeah, I'll second that motion. But I do have a question. What's the time frame in terms of in phases, and how set is this? I noticed the cricket pitch, which it's a great game. I don't know what the draw would be to utilizing a cricket pitch versus other sports I can think of that are very very sought after here in Albuquerque. So yeah, if you can give me like the time frame and goal of that in phases.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioner Benson. So the time frame is we are proceeding into design with both the championship facility and the 10 fields. Immediately that's happening. We'll be wrapping design up by the summer. It will go into construction by the end of the summer at the latest. The hope is that by the beginning of next year, both those facilities will be online. The 10 fields that are grass, it may take a little bit longer just because we want them to obviously be really for the seed and for the sod to be kind of fully acclimated and growing full tilt. But the facility itself will be definitely by February. We already had discussions with suppliers and things like that. I mean, I say we, it's really the city in this case, but to try to jumpstart that process and make it happen really, really quickly. So we can publish through the county manager. We'll provide a construction schedule though to you all, and it will actually be posted on our website for this project as well. So.
Okay, Debbie, Joe, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to answer the question, Madam Chair and Commissioner Benson. I'd like to answer the question on cricket. I've been here 6 years, and cricket was probably the first sport that came to me to build a field. There's actually 500 cricket players in Albuquerque, and so we're surprised, about that ourselves. But they are very active. I think we talk to them on a weekly basis, if not more than that. But they were instrumental actually in raising the money to build the first cricket pitch out there currently that we have on the existing fields. They have raised an additional money through Intel and some contractors in town that will build another cricket pitch out at Tom Tenorio Park that they want to be able to use. With 5 fields, they can actually conduct or could conduct the international cricket tournament. That's their goal. So we're hoping that we can continue doing that. UNM has a huge presence with some of the students and locals that they also participate in cricket. So that's just been one of the sports that's, very has been active in the community.
John Barney.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Benson, and just so you know, where they're located is kind of in the sidelines area in between the fields. And so it doesn't really impact the fields per se, for the usual more, broad field kind of soccer or football kind of play that's the way it's being designed. That's helpful to understand.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? I see none. So, Commissioner Casada.
I just wanted to, I don't know if we talked about, Yaffle football, but, they really use the field up there too, Commissioner. So it's bigger than, it's a lot bigger than just soccer. I shouldn't have left out, Yaffle football. But I guess probably because I didn't play football. I'm more of a baseball player myself. I don't understand cricket at all either. So I didn't know there was those players out there, but for sure, football they'll be using those fields also.
Commissioner Benson.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Quezada, and thank you, Miss is it Debbie? Sorry, Almaguer.
Almaguer or Almaguer.
Thank you, and Mr. Barney. Thank you both. And actually, that's where I met my cricket buddies, was at UNM. So I'm pleased to hear that there's 500. And Commissioner Quezada, I'm glad you brought up Yaffle, because I know any one school team has 500 Yaffle kids on any one school, and then there's all the schools that have them. So that's great. I think this is a great facility. We need it. Soccer, United, that's huge. So I think it will get a lot of good wear and tear. Sounds good.
Okay, any other questions or comments? I'll just make the comment that I'm happy to see so many sports fans here and supporting youth activities. I'm from Chicago. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, I was an ice hockey player myself. We used to flood the yard in the winter and I'd play with the guys on the block. So that explains a lot, right? So there was a motion and a second. So all in favor, do something to show your approval. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa.
Aye.
Commissioner Benson.
Aye.
Commissioner Vice Chair Casada.
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you all. So discussion, anybody got anything to discuss? No. So we'll move on to the announcement of the next commission meeting. Tuesday, March 9, 2021. We have a zoning meeting at 3 p.m. by Zoom, followed by the commission meeting, the administrative meeting at 5 p.m. We're going to go sign some official documents. And if there's no other business, this meeting is adjourned. I want you all to get some good rest. Thank you for being with us all tonight. And if anybody's flying tomorrow, have a safe flight. Take care all.